Welcome to Big Man Fitness. This is David Labby coming to you today on June 4th. So my 13-week program is done. I'm now on to my next 13-week program, but let's just fill you in real quick. Update, I used to be 408 pounds. I'm now down to 289. I've lost 120 pounds accumulative altogether. Since March 5th, though, I've lost 66 pounds. So in 13 weeks, 91 days, I've lost 66 pounds. My goal, I have a couple of goals. So one thing that I will leave you with right now, a little pro tip, have a huge goal, a crazy unachievable goal, then have your moderate goal. My crazy unachievable goal was to lose over 100 pounds. I wanted to get down to 250, right? I'm 289. I lost 66 pounds. Decent. My goal was to get below 300. Nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. I'm super psyched about it. I can't even tell you like how proud I am. It's euphoric in a way because I nailed that thing. Now I didn't get my my primary goal, but I didn't set myself up for failure, right? I made something that I thought was achievable. I made something that I thought was unachievable, but I was going to shoot for anyway, right? Shoot for the moon, hopefully land amongst the stars, right? And that's all I did. That's all I did. I started off, so let's talk a little bit about my journey so far. A recap of everything. For 13 weeks, I've been busting my butt, doing a whole bunch of stuff, trying to lose weight. And at the very beginning, the first 5 weeks, I lost 51 pounds because I was expecting perfection out of myself. And I was doing great, but it wasn't sustainable, right? As I started into the higher volume, my plan was to do 10 exercises, start off with 10 reps, and then increase by 1 rep every single day until day 91, which would bring me to 100 reps for each exercise, which would essentially be 1,000 reps, which is some crazy CrossFit workouts that are, like some people do. But when I started getting to this, into the 50, 60, and 70 rep range, it just wasn't sustainable. One, my body wasn't ready for that type of volume consistently, right? That's something you need to take into account. Your body needs recovery time. You need to put yourself recover, and I had to adjust. Never change your goal, adjust your plan, adjust your approach. So I wanted to keep part of my goal. I didn't want to change that, but I wanted to change some things to make it more sustainable and also give me the best opportunity for success. So I adjusted. So instead I changed it to 1 day a week, high volume, but still doing something every single day. So I had 1 day a week, high volume, 1 day a week, moderate volume, and then the rest of the week was just doing my 10 by 10 plus also walking a mile. Now, as some of you know, a few weeks ago, about a month ago, 4 weeks ago, I sprained my ankle severely, very badly. It was not good. Let's just put it that way. It wasn't that good. I was laid up. I was so concerned about losing my gains. I was exercising in my chair, being yelled at by my wife. So I find it humorous. The context is there. You have to understand what was going on at the time. But everything's going great now. And I had to adjust. I had to adjust my food intake. There were days that I was inconsistent with my water intake. I always had over a gallon to a gallon and a half, but I was trying to shoot for 2 gallons a day. And some of you guys are gonna be like, that's crazy. I understand that. That is excessive for somebody that's smaller, but for somebody that's larger like I was around 400 pounds, and when I was at 350, I was still doing 2 gallons. The reason why I was doing that is because flushing stuff when you're losing fat and you're in ketosis, right? It flushes fat out. It flushes it takes the energy from your fat, from your triglycerides, and turns it into energy. But you need to be able to flush that out consistently, and also with your ketones. So it makes a huge difference to be flushing that out. But you also flush out nutrients. So I was taking more supplements during the day to keep a higher nutritional concentration in my body, right? Meaning a nutritional saturation. So you keep that up. So I was taking, well, at one point I was taking vitamins 3 times a day, but then I changed it up to only twice. So that made a huge difference. Keeping up with my electrolytes was extremely important, and also keeping up with my nutrition. There was a point where I wasn't really tracking my macros as well as I could have been, and I stalled a little bit. I wasn't able to keep up with all my exercise as well, so that also contributed to a few things. But I had life. I mean, I have family, friends that are my family. Work, my business, everything that bills, everything else that comes with life. Problems with the family, things that happen, that urgent issues that call for your attention. And yet every day I had to find out a way to make this livable. How was I going to make this livable? That's what you need to find out for you. I know it's doable for me. Working with my wife, working around my wife's schedule, not going to the, so that way I could go to the gym in the morning and not at night, so that way I could spend time with my wife and not be at the gym, all the time. I didn't want to spend 2 or 3 hours at the gym. I didn't want to do that. That wasn't going to work for me. So all these things accumulated, right? And I had to adjust as they came, right? You can't set yourself up for failure, because I set myself up for wanting a perfect aspect. What if I could do 91 days perfectly? I strived for excellence, but understood that life happens. I gave myself that flexibility, right? Don't set yourself up for failure, because as soon as you stall on one day, you're going to feel like it's over. And you're going to want, let's say you ended up binge eating, right? What do you do the next day? Reset the clock. It doesn't matter. You don't have to start over, but reset the day. It's one day that you screwed up. Don't let one day avalanche into 2, 3, 4, and then suddenly you just stop. I've done that so many times. It's how I yo-yoed, back and forth, right? If I screw up one day, I give myself a clean slate and I move on to the next day. Why? Because today's a new day. The next moment, the next meal, the next glass of water, the next exercise session is a new clean slate. You have to get over yourself. Don't allow your greatness to be diminished by perfection or the expectation of perfection. It just doesn't work. It will not work. I'm so much closer now to my goal than what I was 3 months ago. I have progressed so fast and so far in 3 months, right? I didn't reach 100 pounds weight loss, right? But I got 66, and I think that's pretty damn good, right? I'm happy about that. My goal was to get under 300, my primary, my actual achievable goal, and I did that. I nailed it. So putting out those small incremental goals helps. I started off by saying that I wanted to get at least 7 hours of sleep a night. Sleep is super important. And then I started off by drinking a glass of water every day when I woke up. I drank 32 ounces as soon as I woke up. Yeah, I went to the bathroom like 6, 7, 8, 9 times a day. But hey, there are sometimes things that you have to sacrifice or things that you have to endure, because it's not all peaches and rainbows and sugar cookies and stuff. It's just not. A unicorn's not going to come over and, magically bless you with perfectness. It's just not going to freaking happen. Excuse my partial slur. But it's the truth. It's the truth, guys. Only you can make this difference. If you want it, it's so achievable. It's right there, right? And it's not going to be there tomorrow. It's not going to be there the next day. But every day, you're one step closer to the person that you want to be, to the goal that you want to achieve. And even if I say I want to make this goal, I want to achieve this in 3 months, 2 months, 1 month, right? Setting a high goal, but understanding, having those 2 to 3 different aspects of it, right? I had the main, the crazy distant goal, and then the primary goal, and then I had something in between, right? I knocked one out of the park. I got close to the other one, right? I'm happy with that. And it doesn't set me up for failure. I'm not going, oh my God, I didn't lose 100 pounds in 3 months, right? What I did do is lose 10 inches off my waist, gained 3 inches on both my arms. This isn't for vanity. This is because I'm proud and I worked hard for this every day, right? And the funny thing is that it wasn't even that crazy hard, right? I just started small and I built up over time, and then I adjusted as I needed. So, if I knew that I was getting up in the morning and I was just doing 10 exercises, 10 reps, right? Done in 10 to 15 minutes. After I've already done 60 to 70 reps on one day, 10 reps was nothing. It was just so much easier. And I started off with 10 reps and 10 exercises, working out the primary muscle groups, the biggest muscles, right? And also some of the stabilizer muscles. And I switched things up a little bit. I would do like a regular bicep curl and then a hammer curl or something like that to help hit it in a different way, right? And also to, help with the muscle fatigue and, the hypertrophy. And it made a difference. It did make a difference. And I'm glad that I did. I'm really glad that I did that, because it made it a lot more sustainable. Don't make yourself a box that you feel that you have to fit into. Allow yourself to stretch. Allow yourself to adjust. Try it out. See if it works. If it doesn't work, readjust. Go back to the box. That's fine. If it doesn't, move the hell out of the box. Get a new box. It doesn't matter. I hope that you understand what I'm saying, because just make a plan, try and stick to it, right? But adjust as you need, right? That doesn't mean throw it out and say, oh, I'm just going to start next week. Oh, Monday, I'm going to start. That was my biggest thing, is that I guess some people were like Monday. Me, it was Sunday. I was like, oh, next week, next Sunday, and then I'm mowing down on mac and cheese and all this other crap, steak and cheese, which I still love. Don't get me wrong. But I'm making my lifestyle more sustainable. And that is all the difference. Doesn't mean that you can't have a cheat meal, right? But you're an adult. Most likely you're an adult. Anybody usually watching this channel is over the age of 18. And if you're an adult, make adult decisions. It's as simple as that, right? And I'm not calling you out, because I was there. I was that guy on the couch eating, watching Netflix and literally eating bags of Kit Kats and Devil Dogs. So I would eat an entire pizza by myself, grill a steak, right? Get a ton of candy bars, get a bag of those little Reese's peanut butter cups, the bag, right? And a box of Devil Dogs, and sit my butt on my buddy's couch when we were watching a movie and just mow down. That was my life. But that life was putting me into an early grave. That life was taking me away from my family. That life wasn't enriching myself. That life was causing me problems at work. It was making me lose respect of my peers. Why? Because let's just get into it. When you're fat, people are prejudiced. It's as simple as that. It's true. People think that you're lazy if you're fat. People think that you don't work hard. They think that you're undisciplined, right? It's, God forbid that you like cheesecake, right? And that's another stereotype. I don't even like cheesecake. You know what I like? Brownies. I don't like cheesecake. Screw cheesecake. I hate that shit. But it's the truth. It's the honest truth. And it made a huge difference to me. When I was younger and I was athletic and very, very well built, I could walk down the street and I would literally get a job on the spot, because I had the personality and I had the looks, right? I got fat. I mean, I've always been a big guy, and I've had some of the, it's funny, my views on what fat was when I was younger versus what I was when I was actually truly fat are totally different now. And knowing that has made my progress catapulted, Why? Because I had to be honest with myself. Be honest with yourself. Once you know your faults, once you know those, and you honestly take a look at those dark corners of your mind. And I know this sounds like a Tony Robbins speech or something like that, whatever. Just listen, because one of the main aspects of being successful and losing weight is your mindset. It really is. Honestly, guys, look at what happened to yourself. Look at what you're doing. Look at yourself. Every time that I go to do something, I think about one thing. My fat face shoving more shit into my mouth. I know that sounds weird, but that disgusts me. I remember one time I went into my buddy's bathroom, and I went to the bathroom and I looked in the mirror because I was washing up, and I looked up and I had food stuck in my beard. Not just a little bit, like I was covered. And I looked at myself and I was just like, what the hell are you doing? Like, honestly, what are you doing? This is gross. And I felt heavy. I was breathing heavy. I literally just walked up his stairs to go to the bathroom, and I was breathing heavy. It was 10 steps. 10 steps. That's it. I can't even tell you what this journey has meant to me. Anyway, this video is getting long. I hope that you understand where I'm coming from, and I hope that this might inspire some of you. I used to be 408 pounds. I was that guy. I was that lazy guy. I was the guy that every time that I bent over, my pants would crawl down a little bit and everybody would see my ass crack. It's embarrassing. It's downright embarrassing. It really is. After a while, you just, you laugh it off, and every time a guy comes over and he pats you on the shoulder and he's like, hey, what's up, big guy? Right? No. I'm not cool with that anymore. Like, I don't care if I'm a big guy. I'm comfortable with myself and I let things brush off, but how many opportunities did I miss out? How many times did I not have the confidence to go up and make a move because of my obesity, because I was ashamed of myself? No more. And that's what I told myself. I said, no more. I'm not going to let this affect my marriage. I'm not going to let this affect my family life. I'm not going to let this affect my career. Nothing. Not again. Never again. Right? Now I have the tools that I need so that if I ever do start to go back down that road, right, I can adjust course. This isn't an end-all be-all. This is going to be a constant journey, right? And you have to make it enjoyable. I started going out on hikes. I started going to the gym. I started playing games, doing athletic games. Now that I don't feel like my heart's going to explode every single time that I run 5 steps, I actually enjoy playing a couple of games now, right? It's almost like I was a kid again. Do you remember when you were a kid and you used to just like running? I kind of vaguely do, but I'm reminded of that now because now that I've done the 5K, right, I feel a lot better about it. Like, I was actually running and it didn't hurt as much, because running even though I used to play football, running was the worst. But that's why you need to find out your strengths. My strength was lifting and calisthenics. I actually hate body weight exercises, but that's what I started off with. Why? Because it was the middle ground. I didn't like running. I didn't want to become a cardio bunny. I didn't want to become a stick figure. I wanted to keep some musculature, but I knew that I needed to up my cardiopulmonary levels and also get some fitness in, right? And I wanted to build some muscle as well. And so I started with body weight exercises and a little bit of weightlifting. That's my strength. I'm good at lifting. I'm good at picking heavy shit up. So that's what I started with, right? So I started in the middle ground, went to some heavy lifting, started with a little bit of cardio, went to high intensity interval training. My thing was that then I started really thinking about my strengths. One of the other things, and I'm just transitioning into this because I just thought of this. So I did high intensity interval training. I started off with walking because walking's fine. I was fine with walking, but then I would do 5-second bursts of intense running. But I would just do 5 seconds. That's it, right? And then I would slow back down, jog for another 5 seconds, and then walk it off, and then move on to the next one, right? So I would walk, so I'd do that like 4 times. And then the following week, I tried to get up to 10 seconds. Then the next week was 15 seconds. Then I did 30 seconds. And then I was finally up to like 45. Then I was up to, I actually did like a minute. And then I got up to, I did a 2-minute sprint once, and that was my max. So that definitely was where I had to taper off. And then I sprained my ankle. So now I haven't been running at all, but I have been exercising and trying to do shadow boxing from my chair, even though I look demented. My wife laughed at me hard. She was like, "What are you doing?" And I was just like getting my cardio as I'm sitting there boxing in the middle of there. So guys, don't take yourself too seriously. Something my father told me that he read. He went to the doctor's one time, and as he laid down, he looked up and there was a plaque on the ceiling. And the plaque read, "Don't take life too seriously. You'll never get out of it alive." So I remind myself of that sometimes. Don't take it too seriously. This is fun. I have fun with it, right? There's some aspects of discipline that you have to take into consideration. There's some aspects of seriousness, right? Because, we're adults, and, you have to hold yourself accountable. But that's why you get yourself an accountability buddy, and you hold each other accountability-able, right? So if any of you guys watched South Park before, that's like an old reference. But anyway, I'm going to end this video on that note. I hope that this helped at least somebody out there. And if you have a story, if you're losing weight or anything like that, leave a comment down below. I would love to hear from you. I'd love to see what other people are doing on this journey as well. If you have any questions, feel free. Leave a comment, shoot me an email. My email's in there. I'm totally cool with it. A few of you guys have already started asking questions, and I'm really happy about it. I'm happy to give my knowledge. It's how I started. I started asking people for resources, guidance, asking them questions. What did you do for this? I'll tell you what my opinions are. There's no problem with that. I can't tell you what to do because only you can tell. Only you know what's going to be good for you or what you're going to be capable of. But I am going to be honest with you. Sometimes I hear people saying, "Well, I can't do that." Have you tried? Have you tried? Sometimes you just have to push past some thresholds. Now, I'm not talking about going from 0 to a 600-pound deadlift in 3 days. I'm talking about getting up and going for a walk, right? I'm talking about, and then taking the next step. I'm not talking about going for a mile run. Because I'm talking about walking a mile, but then taking some sprints in between. You can totally do that. I was 408 pounds. I have Osgood Schattlers in my left knee. I have a torn rotator cuff, right? My ACL is strained, right? I have a slipped disc in my back. I got up and I got outside. I was diabetic. I got up and I got outside. I had high blood pressure. I got up and I got outside. You don't even have to go outside. You can go to you can move from the couch to the living room floor. Start doing a couple of push-ups. You don't even have to do anything big. Choose 3 exercises, 5 to 10 reps. That's it. Do that for a week. Try that out every single day, right? Low volume, low intensity, nothing major, right? Just do that. Drink some water. Start somewhere. Moving forward, hey, hit the like button if you found any of this interesting or useful. It helps me reach more people and it helps my channel. I would really appreciate it, guys. And if you want to follow along with the journey, hit the subscribe button because I appreciate that also. So, guys, be informed, stay motivated, live big. Who up?